Hi, this is Lakhi Singh, the property fixer, here to fix you and help you grow your property and your business affairs to the next level. So if you're looking for knowledge and insights about how to get involved in property, solve your problems about scalability in your property business, then do watch our 20-minute clips. We've taken them from hundreds and, well, thousands of videos that we've taken over the last 6 months, and we've broken them into simple chunks which can make them useful for you. So do watch and do subscribe to our YouTube channel underneath as well.
So I'd assume that meant that you are local, you put the windows up in Birmingham and you're not letting anybody try and get ask for food. Is that right?
Yeah, you could say that. I was just saying I'm in Birmingham, UK, not Birmingham, Alabama, USA, which is where.
Ah, right, not in the USA. Okay, right, that makes sense. I was about to say, is that the same? Because there is a Birmingham in the United States as well, Lakhi. Right, Lakhi Singh, because I think we've got a bit of a bad transmission from Ninder Singh. Tell me then, we'll go back to you and then we'll go back to Ninder Singh to see if there is because I'm trying to work out whether there's foresight in the music industry. Ninder says it's always, a desired, I don't know if it falls into a commodity, but it falls into a need or something, because if we're always buying music, doesn't it get impacted by the money that we have in our pocket? I mean, don't people buy less? And I think most of the purchasing now is done online. Is that right? Like, it's much cheaper now to buy a music track. Is that right?
Yeah, I think multimedia or the films and TV. You got things like Spotify now, which and other things like that, where you can download lots of music, and it's. I mean, I haven't got it, but I know that the cost must be quite cheap per month to be able to get on it. So yeah, I think that's a sign of the times, isn't it? Everything's digitalized and lower cost now per month. They're becoming, they've got more and more access to more consumers as the years go by as well. So that's the general trend, I would say.
Okay, so Ninder, can you hear me now? Because I think you're probably in a bit better reception now, are you?
This is not the greatest part of Birmingham for reception, but let's persevere. So
you're driving through a farm in Birmingham, you say? So, okay, what type of farm is it?
No, it's not a farm. I said the reception in this part of Birmingham isn't the greatest.
Right, so Birmingham is a farmhouse, you say, and you're trying to have an argument with a bull. Is that what you said?
And listen, I'm happy for you to go with that assertion if you wish.
That's your future goal, to be a bull wrestler. Is that what he said, Lakhi?
I think that's pretty much right.
Is going into bull wrestling. That's good. Okay, well, that's going to be different. Probably get lots of likes on the YouTube and all that for that. So from being an MC and like a Punjabi MC, the sign of the times. You've got somebody who's going to go into bull wrestling. Probably a good way of raising his profile. Is it going to be a bit like the kabaddi type of thing, Lakhi Singh? What do you think? Getting, getting himself dirty in the mud, trying to wrestle a couple of balls to the ground?
Yeah, I think it could be like the new trend. I think nobody's really established that trend in the UK. I think they do that in Spain a little bit when they have the annual run with the bulls.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we can have that. That could be a Birmingham thing. Yeah.
So
bull ring. Actually, now there is a bull ring centre in Birmingham. Yes, I've just remembered that. I think that's probably where it's all come from. Suddenly, with Ninder telling us he's going through a farm in Birmingham. Right, Ninder, can you hear us now? Is your reception better?
I can. Yeah. I can hear you clearly, to be honest with you. And I think you're right. We do have a bull ring centre in Birmingham. It's a much. It attracts a lot of tourism.
Yes. Okay. So we're in the last well, how many minutes have we got left? Minutes, right? Okay, we've got last 12 minutes left. I want to have because what I find is Lakhi is on the scale of giving people hope in this market, and Ninder Singh is also in the scale of giving people hope. Ninder gives hope through knowledge, and Lakhi Singh is giving that practical hope. So Lakhi Singh seems to be telling people that they're on the right track if they start something, but not to stay inertial. And I think Ninder Singh, as I listen to both of you, seems to be giving people an explanation of how business leaders have adjusted, how people in the present market have adjusted, and how there is a future in work, in business, as long as you're willing to have that flexibility in your thinking and looking outside the box. And I was listening to an interesting article that was talking about the definition of future business, because we're not going to all of a sudden sort of like jump into Buck Roger world. You're not going to be flying around in like saucers and all that. But there is going to be an impact on what's happened. There is going to be a change of thinking, change of doing business. Now, you can't just switch on the whole world where one part of the world is still sitting in mud huts and the other part of the world is basically become technologically savvy in terms of now I think we've got the 5G switched on. Is that right, Lakhi Singh? Is that correct? Would I be correct in saying that the 5G circuit in general context has been switched on in the developed world?
I would say so. I think Ninder Singh's probably a bit more technical on it. Yes.
Sorry, do you want me to have an input?
Yes, Ninder, can you give us your input, please? Because I think you're probably better qualified, having wrestled with the ball, to take on difficult topics.
Yeah, well, in the West Midlands, we're a test bed for 5G. So we're testing 5G in terms of mobility, in other words, how people are transported. We're testing 5G in a medical context, in other words, how the NHS can adopt 5G to improve well-being, and we're also testing 5G within commercial, industrial applications to see how we can use 5G to improve productivity and get UK PLC moving again. And in terms of going forward, the Internet of Things will dominate this space even more. And in terms of going forward, we're past the pandemic, although admittedly the developed countries are moving at a faster recovery rate than the developing, because the developed countries' governments supported through schemes like furlough. Their vaccinations are moving much quicker. The developing countries have not been able to support their workforces through furlough and don't have the sort of the means to mass vaccinate as the developed countries. So you will see a two-speed economy, global economy. And then within the two-speed global economy, you'll see different speeds amongst different sectors. But overall, I think the IMF said next year, that's 2021 will grow at 6.6%, and 2022 will grow at 4%, which are big numbers. Unemployment will probably peter off towards the end of next year. So, I think the economy will return to pre-COVID probably in a couple of years' time. So it's not all gloom and doom. There is a bright future in front of us.
Excellent. Coming from somebody I regard as being somewhat of a chancellor of the drive time exchequer, I'm going to take that serious in terms of the statement, and I'm not going to put it into one of those typical politicians giving a flaky statement. Lakhi Singh, do you see that the future is bright in 21? 4% and then 6%. It's good numbers.
Well, it is what it is. I'm not really a specialist on that 5G.
Okay, well, you sound a bit more like Donald Trump there. He says it is what it is. after a few million people have passed away. So, okay, that sounds very encouraging from Lakhi. It is what it is. We'll call that. We'll say that's positive. Right, okay. Now, with the topic and with being on the right track and not staying inertial, I think we've covered both extensive it. And so there's so many things that we can open up or pull up and sort of try to throw to the audience and effectively give them some light at the end of the tunnel. I think just to mention to lots of listeners we've got lots of new people coming. Can you please tell us the name of your magazine? Is it electronically evolved or is it only hard copy, soft copy rather? Nindaji.
It's available in both. It's digital and physical, and it can be purchased. It's not free. Unlike most magazines, we packed it full of high quality content which people will gain knowledge from. So it is available on both formats, and it's called
Excellent.
The Business Influence. And of course, if money is tight, you can always listen to the podcast called The Business Influencers, or where I host a number of fantastic business people, entrepreneurs, and people who are experts in their field, covering economics, entrepreneurship, leadership, tech, finance, you name it, we cover it. And it's in a weekly podcast as well, so you can catch that on Google, and it's on Spotify and Apple.
Excellent. I'm not much of a person for taking other people's ideas and sort of like, I like to think that I look at things in a unique way, but I think in the environment and the times that we are in, I would say having something like Ninda Singh's magazine, which is called the Business Influencer, is probably a good thing, because it's going to give lots of people excellent ideas as to how to pivot in their business. If they want to keep the same business going, how to improve it, how to make it more functional, even in the lockdown. And then after lockdown, obviously it gets better. What do you say, Lakhi, with the RAC model? What should people do? What are they supposed to do? What are you saying? Should they visit the website? Should they go to, do you do a podcast for the RAC?
Okay, so what they should do is they should just go to the website called Rescuemyproperties.co.uk and watch the YouTube clips, which are under the media section on the top drop down. And if they watch that, that will actually give them a comprehensive summary of really all the things, what the whole program is about, and how they can make money, how they get started, how the ICO license works, how they can go into social media and develop a contact base if they're not that well connected in business or property. It pretty much gives them a whole the starter pack. And if they've already got a big network and they're already well connected and they've already got a potential client base because they're estate agents or they're accountants or solicitors, and then it also tells them at more of a business to business level how to grow their business as well. So pretty much everything is been explained. But if they join the register and become an associate, which is free basic at the moment, but if they want to become a gold member because they've got access to funds and they see potential in what we're doing, because I think what we are doing is going to be the sign of the times in terms of assisting potential people with lots of services and solutions, then they can pay £10,000 and become a gold member, which is probably what I would do based upon my understanding, really, which way everything's going to go in the market at the moment. So becoming a gold member would give them 20% or whatever upfront fees that our company organization charges. So a lot of people doing that could be anticipating making 10 or 20,000 pounds a month if they bring 5 or 10 clients in. It's quite simple, quite a simple formula. So I'll be organizing like weekly events, and I'll be looking to get people who are more, let's say, able to work at that level, and I'll be working with them a bit more closely, so they'll be somewhat mentored by me to actually become more senior associates, and actually help them to, do the basics really.
Is there such thing as a senior? Is it just that you take on a higher level of membership? What's a senior associate? What does that mean?
It just means that if they've got a little bit more drive and oomph, and they want to create a organization out of it, because by becoming an associate, we've also structured it so you can take on 5 or 10 people underneath you. It's not like MLM, a multi-level marketing, where you've got layers of thousands of people underneath you. This is just one layer underneath. So if you wanted to get 10 people working with you, who maybe your staff is an accountant, or your marketing team, if you're some sort of a company that does a lot of sales. So this could be perfect, actually, a cross-sell for a lot of people with the marketing or sales team. Because if somebody's selling will products or insurance products, or they're selling life insurance or contents insurance.
With that, we're going to have to cut short. I'm sorry about that. We've run out of time. Ninder sir, good day to you too. We should look forward to you. It's always a pleasure to have you in. You're not that frequent with us because obviously you're driving around sunny Birmingham, wrestling bulls, and I don't know what else you've been wrestling. But we wish you well in your new career as a bull wrestler, as well as your music, as well as your magazine, which is, just for everyone's understanding, it's called The Business Influencer, and you must, it should be on a website as well, is it, Ninder?
Yeah, absolutely. www.thebusinessinfluencer.co.uk. And of course, don't forget the podcast. And you can also watch the podcast on YouTube. Just search for Natural Media, and you'll see the podcast there as well on YouTube.
And any videos of you with the bulls? You've got anything there that we can watch?
Well, I'll make a point of doing that this afternoon, and I'll send it to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lakhi Singh, for your time and your excellent input. I hope it gives some comfort and some solace to people who probably think there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully, as soon as the lockdown completes, I think June 31st is the end date for this lockdown. And once the vaccine has been disseminated to maximum of the populace, we should be back into business, like Ninder says. 4%, not bad. Take care. Speak to you all.